All right, we're going to talk about some base running and basic principles when you're getting a lead from first base. Obviously, the number one objective is to try to get as big as a lead as you can without getting what? Yeah, without getting picked off. So we want to push the envelope as much as we can when we're actually in a situation where we're trying to get a lead and obviously stealing bases. So in doing that, what we try to do is make it an illusion to where it seems like you're getting a smaller lead than what you actually really are, as far as that's concerned. And what I mean by that is you'll see once we get our leads that we kind of step up about a foot in front of the base as we're kind of getting our lead going into second base, because we want to give an illusion that we're not really getting a lead at all. It's not as big of a lead from first base as the typical person that's on first base. Typically, the normal person gets in line with the base as they're getting their lead, and it's kind of easy to tell what kind of lead they have in that situation. So what we try to do is we try to, I guess, in so many words, make an optical illusion like we're not having the biggest lead as we do. So in saying all of those things, we want to make the pitcher obviously worry about us as much as we can on first base, or any base in that matter. Why do you think that's important? Because if the pitcher's worrying about us, what can he not do? Yeah, I mean, we want to make it where he's not as effective as he should be in a scenario when we don't have somebody on first base. So again, if we're on first, second, or third, we want to be a distraction over here. And being a distraction, you have to be, number one, a smart base runner. Number two, you got to know that you do have a job. When we're on first base, we're trying to get to second base as quickly as we can, all right, and effectively as we can, all right, because the closer we get to second base, the closer we're going to eventually get to what base that we need? Third, and then where? Home, the ultimate goal. So we're going to try to get as quickly as we can, as many bases as we can in a quick amount of time as possible as far as that. And like I told you, our number one goal is to distract the pitcher, all right? If we got him worried about us, obviously he can't be effective in what he's doing as far as doing his job in those kind of scenarios. So first couple of things that obviously we do in taking a lead. We never take our eyes off the pitcher when we're getting our lead from first base. So I'm always in a situation where I'm looking at the pitcher regardless of what's going on. The coach may be talking to me out of, the first base coach may be talking to me. I don't want to still step off the bag and say, what? Or whatever you want to say back to him. We never say anything back to the first base coach. We kind of let him talk, but our main number one job is to focus on what? The pitcher, correct? Once we get the signs, our main job is we're watching the pitcher as we get in our lead, because we can't dictate anything or do anything unless we know what the pitcher's doing or what the pitchers kind of anticipate doing in those scenarios. So obviously we get our standard lead, and then like I said, depending on what kind of speed level you have, Coach Beam and our coaching staff typically say, hey, you're just a regular, you know what I mean, you just get your regular lead. The guys that we think have elite type speed or speed that we think is going to enable us to steal bases, we'll tell them to get a bigger lead. So whenever we're saying get a bigger lead, we're always going to be giving hand signals to kind of, hey, get a bigger lead. You're not getting a big lead enough. All right, so we always start out, we're looking at the pitcher. In this position right here, I typically don't like to walk off in this fashion, because the one thing which you have to do when you try to walk off in that position, that next step is probably going to have to be where? Crossover step, and we don't ever want to cross over. So I like kind of getting at the front of the bag right here, because again, if you're holding me on, come right here. Like you're the first baseman, you're holding me on. If I start my lead from here, what is that going to do to this guy right here? It's going to push him back a little bit, and that's what we want to do. We want to kind of gain leverage as far as on this guy. If we don't, if we take our lead, for example, from the back, where's he going to go now? Then most likely he's going to come in this position and kind of close us off a little bit more in that scenario. So in other words, we don't want him to have any advantage on us. So we want to try to get here, and we're going to do what? We're going to force him back right here. All right, we're going to force him to get back. So when I get my lead, I'm right here. This is already one step right here. Now, 2, 3, and then a little half right there. We tell that's everybody's typical lead that's in our program, whether you fast, slow, or what have you. We tell them get 3.5 because we want to make sure that you can take one step and you can dive and get back in. So if I take one step and I'm right here, where am I at now? I'm on the base right here in this scenario, right? So if I take one step and dive, I'm back in that scenario. So that's what we want to do, all right, and getting our basic lead.